Guys, Scripted Fan 94 here. I hope you're all having an absolute wonderful day, and I hope you and your families are doing well. Today I have a special guest to share his experience with what he saw one night, and he is 100% sure that he saw Bigfoot. So let me introduce you to my good brother Chris, and I've mentioned this on live streams before, and he is finally here to be able to tell his experience. So as always, sit back, relax, and let's get started. This is my brother Chris. He is kind enough here today to share his experience with us. So I'm going to hand it over to him, and he's going to tell you every single bit of information that he had about what he saw that day. So let's get started.
What's going on, guys? So my brother Adam here, Cryptid Fan 94, wanted me to give you a little rundown on my experience with what I believe was a Bigfoot. So take you back probably 15, close to 20 years now. I was coming home from work. I was 15, 16 at the time. Coming home where we lived at was in a holler. So he was coming home one night. When you come to the bottom of the holler, our driveway turned back and up. As I turned into the driveway and started up the driveway, I caught something out the corner of my eye, so I stopped, and I was driving an old 92 Ranger at the time. They had the old pool headlights on them, so I pulled them on because I cut them off just coming down the road. Cut them on, flipped on the high beams, and what I seen had to be every bit of 7.5, 8 foot tall, and it was just complete hair. I mean, it was larger than any man that I'd have ever seen. When my headlights hit it, it seemed like an eternity. I know it was no more than just a couple of seconds. As soon as I saw it, I stepped on the gas. At the time, I guess it spooked me so bad, I realized that I was driving a 5-speed at the time. So I didn't have it in gear when I hit the gas on it. But what I did is I realized it, put it in gear, and started to go forward. This thing ran across the driveway in front of the truck. Between the main road and the driveway, there was a ditch that was probably, I don't know, it's probably 5 or 6 feet in depth. This thing ran across in front of me. It ran down this ditch, back up this ditch, and I could see it just from the way that the headlights were hitting. When it come out of the ditch, there was just a 2-lane asphalt road. It ran across that. There was a small little field, maybe 200 yards it ran, and then there was a side of we called it a little mountain, but it was just a giant hill. This was probably 80, 90, maybe 100 feet straight up. The smallest incline to this that you could imagine. I watched this thing go across the road and up the side of this mountain like it was nothing. Like, there's no man, I've never seen a mountain climber or anybody be able to scale a mountain this quick, as fast as this thing did. But I watched it, and I was kind of just in awe. I was shocked at how large this thing actually was. It took off and it ran, and I went on up the driveway. Like I said, me and my brother were still living at home at the time. I got home, told him about it. So, immediately we went out and decided we were gonna see if we could figure out what it was. Went down, no footprints, nothing like that. However, it was a gravel driveway, so you could tell that the rocks and stuff had been moved by a foot. It wasn't from a car, but you could tell something went across there. We looked for probably an hour or two and wasn't able to find anything. But basically, like I said, it was at least 7.5, maybe 8 foot tall, completely hairy. I've been told it was a bear. I grew up hunting and fishing. I know for a fact that a bear does not move that fast on its hind legs. They can get that big, I do realize that. But at the speed this thing moved, it moved like, it was like a marathon runner. This thing moved so fast. And then, like I said, I know to scale the side of a little mountain like that is practically impossible to do with it from a bear. So it human looking almost in the face. It kind of looked more, human, but it looked like a gorilla, honestly, at the same time. I mean, it had the tar looking face. It was just pretty large in what it was. But really, I mean, that's the only definition that I can give to you. I can't explain what it was. I could be wrong. It may not have been a Bigfoot, but I firmly believe that it was. 100% not. I know for a fact 100% that it was not a man, that it was not a bear. And where we live at, there's no zoos or anything near us where any kind of wild gorillas or anything could get loose at. So in my experience, I truly believe that what it was a Bigfoot. But I do appreciate my brother Cryptid Fan 94 having me on. Glad I could share this experience with you. Do have some more experiences that I've had in that house. Be glad to share them with you as well. But I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Cryptid Fan 94 now.
So I've got a couple questions I want to ask you, Chris, that for clarity, to explain to the audience what was really going through your mind at this time.
Shocked at first. I mean, I've heard things. I thought I've seen things before, but shock, I guess, was the initial emotion that went through me. But after that, like I had mentioned, I stepped on the gas with every intention of hitting whatever it was. But I guess the shock made me realize that it wasn't in gear. So I wasn't able to hit it or anything. I know, damn good and well if I'd have hit it, then it probably would have totaled that vehicle for sure. I don't know why I didn't shoot it. It didn't, really click with me. I've been in combat. I don't hesitate on things, but for some reason that night, this is prior to my military and to my law enforcement experience, I didn't have the training and the understanding of not to hesitate at the time. So I don't know why I didn't shoot it. So I would just say probably shock was my main initial emotion that went through me. It was strange because I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared at all.
Did you feel that this thing would have harmed you?
No, I had no feelings of, a lot of people have fight or flight that kick in. And you get that gut feeling that something's wrong or something is, intending to cause you bodily harm. I mean, I didn't get any indications that this thing was aggressive, anything like that. I think that I just caught it when it was moving, and I'm assuming maybe I spooked it. I don't know really. But no, I don't feel like it had any intentions of hurting me. If it wanted to, like I said, this was a 92 Ford Ranger. I mean, regular cab. I mean, this thing could have ripped that thing apart. From everything that I've understood about the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, it could have easily, tore that apart and, pulled me out and, ripped me to limb from limb. But I don't think it would have had any indications of hurting me.
If you could tell one thing to people that would say that Bigfoot is not real, what would you tell them?
More power to you. Hide yourself from it. If you don't want to believe in these things, you don't want to see these things, then don't believe it. In my experience, I've, for a while, I pushed out the paranormal out of my head, and I didn't have any kind of experiences. But since then that I've, accepted that I do know the stuff's there, then I know it's real. I think it opens it up more. I think that third eye, as they say, is opened up to another world or the things that we're not meant to see. But if you don't believe, then that's more power to you. I have no problem with people that don't believe. I just know what I saw. I know that I'm not crazy. What I saw was the only thing I can describe as a Bigfoot.
Chris, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to tell me your experience and share it to the world. It really means a lot to me. As always, I want to give a big shout out to my two partnerships, Found TV and Northwoods Bricks. These guys are absolutely awesome. If you haven't checked them out, please go check them out and please go show them some love. And as always, I am Cryptid Fan 94. And if you have any questions for Chris, post it in the comment section below and he will answer it. So take care, guys. God bless every single one of you and your families, and take care.